Hello, and today I'm going to talk about a resource-based economy. And I came up with this image, or I made this last night. And this is an ideal situation. I'm by no means any type of architect or city planner or anything of that nature. I have a little creativity within me, and essentially that's what I've used to create this. This is an island, and the ideal location for me would be somewhere in the lake. Now, there's only so many islands this big that are available. However, this wouldn't be the most biggest of islands, given that by the just looks of how I've drawn everything in, it would take no more than 45 minutes to an hour to walk around the entire island. Now, how this is located, the H stands for houses, S is storage, see a cafe, places where you eat. There's really no need for major kitchens in these houses because there's not one house that's too far away from that of a cafe. Other things, M, A, and F, that's manufacturing, all centered across here. H, C, that's where the helicopters can land. Horse, that's where horses are, maybe a couple within the island. HC stands for healthcare. Hull, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. A stage, a beach, and yeah, another beach in here. What else am I missing? This is where the livestock would be, your cows, your cattle, your sheep, your chickens, your pigs, you name it. It would be in here. And then your agriculture for your fruits and vegetables. You have a harbor. E stands for energy and environmental issues. You have a few islands along the way. This darker green represents where there might be some trees, some nice pine trees, something in that nature. Obviously, a lot of these other trees would have been torn down because the majority of the houses live within here. So how could this resource-based economy work? Well, I tried to count the houses that I put in here. I counted about 54 or 55, and I'm guessing the average house could put 5, 6, 7, 8 people in it. And I assume that the people that would work within livestock would live here, 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 sort of deal. And maybe the same thing with people into the sports center, but it would be an idea where everything that you need would be self-sufficient because the six essentials in life, in my opinion, is that of food. Well, there's food here, here, and here, and importing and exporting is definitely going to be part of the issue. Clothing, that's something that would have to be imported if it was not manufactured in one of the four manufacturing spots. So food and clothing, healthcare, there's two healthcare locations in here, and you'd have to assume that we'd have one or two doctors on board, one person, maybe two or three that can deliver babies, or maybe 20 or 30 that know how, and then a self-sufficient community type deal. So food, clothing, healthcare, shelter, all the houses, education, that's what ED stands for. MUS stands for museum. And transportation, well, most of it would be by foot because you can walk pretty much anywhere. This black part represents the roads that would be needed. There wouldn't be much of a need to drive a car that often within this situation for regular transportation and industrial use, most certainly. A lot of transportation would be done via horse, via bike, electronic bike, and via boat. I know myself, I'd like to spend most of my days out within the water and in the boats. And in a situation like this, there are jobs that need to be done. Obviously, regular maintenance, the this part in here, the livestock, storage, sports. This would be like your Friday night party area or the area where everyone would get together, maybe some music, that sort of deal. And of course, the harbors pointed out very well. Maybe this is where we grab our fresh water from. Energy, solar panels, you can stick them on the roofs of all these different places. As far as a fire station, one house might have what's needed for the fire area. Don't need that big of a location. There would definitely be one person on call, and many people should know how to take out very smaller sized fires along the way. Okay, I've went over pretty much most of the things that I've wanted to go over, but in a sufficient resource-based economy, you utilize technology so that these jobs that need to be done, and many of them do need to be done, are done with as little human work essentially as possible to the maximum standardizations of getting what you need. Now, obviously, if you got an island this small, you can't get all the resources you need. You're going to be shipping stuff in within the helicopter in the harbor, and maybe you mine gold and silver in here, definitely gold. After all, you need a lot of gold maybe just to set up something like this. It's definitely would be an improvement to the kind of world that we're currently living in today. If you want a copy of this image, I'll put a link in the more information box. And thank you for tuning in. Take care.